this program, whatever program is there, when we run this, it will actually get executed in the application tab. So please remember that anything that we are storing in the application server will not be stored permanently. It's temporary. So internal table is basically stored in the application tier. Now this has to have a permanent storage in the database tables here on the backend. So this database table, we will upload this data into the database table. Only then it will be permanent. So this is temporary here. Okay. So this is what will happen. Right. So and we're going to focus on database tables also in the coming sessions, but right now we're going to focus more on the internal table operations right here. Now if you go ahead, there are a lot of advanced features that have come into this declaration part, execution part, everything. Now that would be very, very interesting. So going forward, we are going to discuss how HANA ABAP works and how this naming convention happens. And there is an inline declaration. The syntax is changed. A lot of things have happened, which we are going to discuss in the coming sessions. But right now, we need to understand about this very basic core concept. See, what happens here is, even if it's AI generated code in the future, you should be able to understand what's happening. So we need to understand what is internal table. No one is going to tell us what is an internal table, what is a work area, what is a structure. But when we know that, and when we see a code generated by AI, you should be able to understand that and find where exactly which fits in, which doesn't fit in, right? That's the main whole point. So we're going to enjoy this code, then only we can actually find out the what exactly is the code all about. Fine. Going forward, we have some internal table operations that we're going to focus on. Rishi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Because this is something which we have not discussed, so I'm going to discuss about the internal table operations. Going
Okay, sir.
forward, see, so how did we actually get this data? We have, see, in the previous program that we have done, this is our program, right? What did we do? We entered the data into the work area. Then we pushed the data from the work area to internal table. Then again we brought back the internal table data into the work area. Okay, we brought back the data, right? So this is what happens. So first we enter the data into the work area, we move it to the internal table, and from internal table we are bringing back to work area, and then we are writing it, right? So but in the real time it doesn't happen. We are not going to create the data. Okay, we are not going to create the data. We will not create data. We will not create the data. But then how do we actually get the data? Data will access from database tables. The question is, how are we going to update the data? How are we going to get the data into the database tables? We are going to get the data into the database tables from some transactions. For example, let's say somebody has purchased some product from us. Then they open some screen, enter that and save it. It goes back into database tables and saves there permanently. That kind of data is what we are going to fetch it to the internal tables. Okay, so okay, now what we will focus on is the internal table operations. And what are the internal table options that we have? The internal table operations is, first one is append, second one is insert, third one is modify, fourth one is say read, and then we have got delete, clear, free, refresh, and sort. So these are the various internal operations that we are going to go ahead and discuss. See, basically append will always add the data at the end. Append will always add the data at the end. Now what do I mean by that? For example, let's say we have 3 records and we add the 4th record. The 4th record, when I use append, it will go and enter at the last. Okay, so you cannot enter it at the first row, second row, third row. It's not possible. Okay, because it's append will always add at the end. But then insert is something which will add the data at any particular line. For example, let's say you want to insert the data at the second line. You can do that. A third line, a first line. It's your choice where you want to insert the data. Okay, so let's do that now. Okay, this is the program, right? Now in this program, what we do is we had some 3 records. Let me just first show you the output. Now this is what we have: 100, 101, 102. 100, 101, 102. Now here we need to go ahead with the second row. You want to insert the data at the second row. Let's say we have a record number as something like say 105 or something. So now let's go ahead with that. So I'll create some 105 which has to be inserted at the second row. Insert w underscore emp to it underscore emp index 2. This is active. So we get this 102 here. Oh, I have to change that. Let me change this to 105. This is say yes, and department is say AI, SAP AI. Okay, SAP AI. Say syntax check, activate, execute, and we've got this. Okay, so we've got this 105 Yash and SAP is come as a second row. Okay, we can choose where you want to insert the data. Now let's say we have a million records, or say 100 records. 100 records have been brought from the internal database table. So the internal table will be filled with all this data. Okay, so we will access the data from database tables, right? So at the time, if you already have 100 records, if you want to insert a particular record at the second row, we can select that. We can select it. So now for insert, you can use this command here, insert. Okay, and insert command is something which you can use, and append via any is used. Insert, we can select the row in which we want to insert. Modify is something like you can modify a particular row. For example, let's say you have got this data, right? So in this 105 Yash SAP A, and then we have got this 101 Hari ABAP. Now what we'll do is like we'll go for this 105 Yash SAP. We will try to modify the 101. This record, the third record, you want to modify it 106. 106. Okay, so let's do the change as 106. Then for that, what we'll do is we need to go for modify. So I'll go for this one as, let me just copy this. Modify it underscore emp from w underscore emp modify it underscore emp from it underscore emp index say 3. So here we have got this 105. Okay, let me just change this because I have not changed the 105, 106. I'll make it as 106, and I'll make this as Rana SAP. So 106 Rana and SAP. So this is what we have. So 105, 102, 101. This is what we have. Fine. Insert modify. Now in modify, okay, so what's happening if you observe, you are modifying the entire row here, right? Let me activate again. If you are activating the entire row, you mean no, what do I mean by that? So 106 Rana SAP. So all these values are saved, getting changed. Okay, let's say what happens if you want to change only the name. You don't want to change the order. You still want it to be 101. Now what do? I will comment it. Even if I comment it, the work area still has the employee number as 105. See, when it was changing to 106, when we are giving a new value, if the new value has not been given, then 105 will come as a update. It will not remain original as 101. Basically, it's 101 has to come here because we don't want to change that, but it is getting changed. Now, for that, what I'll do is I'll go for clear here. I'll go for clear. Clear W underscore. Now what happens with the clear is it will delete all the records from the work area, and this is something which we'll do after the internal table. Now this is a blank, empty. So this also is something which we don't like. We want it to be 101 original value. Then what we have to do is we have to go for into so we have got this modify IT underscore EMP from W underscore EMP, and then we have to go for transporting. So we need to add transporting, transporting EMP EMPN. Then what will happen is only that value will be changed. Only EMPNA will change, and the employee work area will remain unchanged. So whatever we add, now we have got 101 Rana and ABAP. Now here we want to change the ABAP also. Then what we have to do? Let's say we want to take this as ABAP as AI. Okay. So then we have to add this as, here we have to add department also. Save, syntax check, activate. Then we execute it. Now we got this 101 Rana AI.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, that employee number 101 I didn't understand. I got straight confused.
101 is already existing one, standard one. See, यहाँ पे 101 already है. So we don't want to change that. You want to change the only employee name and department. That's the reason we have used them in the transporting. So the 101 is existing. So let me just comment this. So what's the original value? I'll just use this, show this.
Okay, sir.
So here we have got this 101 Hari and ABAP. This is the one which we have, but now we are modifying this Hari and ABAP without changing the 101. Okay, so for that we are using this transporting. If you don't use the transporting, then it will come this. So now 101 is the original value. So even if you uncomment it also, it will not change. I mean, like, even if you go for this 106. So if you see 101 Rana and AI, so this 101 has not changed. Okay.
So, sir,
Yes.
So if we remove the keyword transporting, then the entire all the three things will change. But if we
Yeah,
mention transport,
all the three things will change. Okay, so let's see it once again. See, basically here we're transporting employee name and department, right? So if you just see this, you'll have this only these two changed and 101 has not changed. But when if we remove that into transporting, then everything will change. Here I didn't give the index, right? System is confused because I need to give the index 3. So it will change everything. So it will change the entire row if you don't give the transporting. But transporting gives us an option of selecting what fields have to be changed, what fields has to remain same. Yeah.
okay, sir.
This is what we have. Okay, so I hope this is clear for you, right? So if it's clear, I'll move ahead with the next one. Otherwise, if you have any questions, please let me know. Let's discuss that. Modify. Then we have got the read. Read is actually for reading a particular row of the data. So if you want to read a particular row, we'll use the read statement. Okay, so read statement is what we'll use here. Now for read, I will just temporarily comment this loop. Temporarily comment this loop, and then we'll go ahead with so read statement. Read table it underscore emp index 3 index 3 uh, it underscore emp into w underscore emp index 3. So what will happen? Third index records will be read. So for that we'll use the write statement here. So we got 101 Rana AI. Read statement will always read a particular row. Now going forward, if we have a primary key, we can give, see, employee number is equals to this much. Then automatically that value will fetch. That will not work here in our case because we don't have a primary key here. So when we have a primary key concept, then we can discuss that. Like read statement will work along with the value. Okay, a particular value. EMPNO is equals to something like that. This will work. Great. Okay, so here read statement will read a particular row. We'll go ahead with loop. Okay, so this is what we have, loop statement. Yeah, so this is good. And then we have got this as delete. So delete option. Let's use the delete option. So delete will remove all the values. Okay, see, we also used clear, right? Clear, what it will do, it will remove a particular row of the table. Okay, clear work area will be cleared. But when we use clear internal table, nothing will remain in that table. So let's see this. Now let's say we go for 100 after 101. Okay, after these two values, if I go for clear it underscore emp, then what will happen, all the values in the internal table will be washed out till here. Okay, so if I use it at the end, all the records from the internal table will be washed out. So only two records have come. Okay, so now what happens is, like, a read statement we have, and clear and delete. Let's go for delete. Okay, so delete will actually delete a particular row or particular set of rows. So for example, let's say we have got this also. I'll go with this as 99. Got this 98. Yeah, Bab, okay. So we've got this. Let's see how many records are there here. We have got something 1 2 3 4 5 6 records, right? So what we'll do is, let's say delete 6 records, right? So here we'll use a delete statement. You can use the delete statement anywhere, but we are using it here. After all the records have been added, delete it underscore emp from 1 to 3. Then what will happen, from first row to third row, all the records will be deleted, right? So first row to third row, all the records have been deleted. Now let's say I want to go for this as yeah, so this is something which will go for. Now we'll go for this one as from 3. From 3, save, syntax check, activate, execute. So now we have got this 98 and 105. So what happens here is, like, from 3. So from 3 to end of the all the records, it will be deleted. Now you can also use this, or you can use delete it underscore emp to 3. Then what will happen, from the beginning to third record, all the records will be deleted. Now when you say for this, you've got this. So this is what we have. Now we'll go for this one as delete it underscore emp index 3. Index 3 means what? The third row will be deleted. Okay, so this is what we have. Delete. Okay, we can delete the values from index, based on index, from, to, all these things. So delete actually basically does the operation of deleting specific values. But if I use clear it underscore mp, everything will be cleared from the internal table. Nothing will be there. So there is no point in having this. So there will be no data. I'm executing it, it's not working because all the records have been deleted. But when I comment this, so we'll get this. Okay, so this is what we have. So we have got this clear, delete. Okay, then we have free. So basically, why do we use free? Now free something. So clear and refresh are both having same meaning. Now once upon a time, there was a time when we used to use refresh for internal table, only for internal table. We refresh we used to use only for internal table, and clear we used to use only for work area. Then slowly what happens, SAP introduced this enabled clear also. They said that clear also will work for internal table. Even though it is working for internal table, they didn't remove this concept of refresh. So refresh will work only for the internal table, but it will do the same operation as clear. It will remove the data, that's it. Okay, this is what we have. Now let's go with free. What exactly does free do? Free free will remove records. Free will not only just remove the records, but also delete the memory space. See, if you see, now what happens in internal table, if the internal table is storing the data, if the internal table is storing the, someone is unmuted themselves. So internal table will store the data. um, Internal table will store the data, but here what happens is, yeah, when I say clear, what will happen, all the data from the internal table will go away. Let's say there are 1 million records. Now all these 1 million records will remove the data, will all the data will be removed from the, from this 1 million records, but the memory space which is allocated for that will not be released. It will still be there. Okay, so if you want to remove the memory, if you want to also free the memory space, we need to use the free. It will not just delete data and release the memory space during the runtime. See, during the runtime, memory space will be very important. So this is all something which will be stored in the RAM. So temporary memory, right? So temporary memory will be very limited. So at the time, if you release the memory also, it will be very much useful. So that free is something which will be used there. Free and all the records will go away from this. This is what we have. Okay, so this is about the free refresh. And refresh is same as clear for internal table, and refresh will not work for work area. If you try to use refresh work area, it will throw error. Okay, refresh work area, it will throw error. Refresh can be voiced only for internal table. Okay, you can just try it out now. Then what we have is sort. Now how do we sort? We can sort it based on a particular field. Like for example, you want to sort it based on an employee number, we can do that. So we can go ahead with sort it underscore emp by emp no. Then what will happen, everything will be sorted based on the employee number. So if you see, okay, this is basically sorting it because it's a character, right? So we are defined it as a character, so it is doing an alphabetical order. So let's go for this one as n. So it will be like sorted based on that. So this is what we have as a 3. So now this is 98, 99, 100. Okay, so this is sorted based on that. Now we also have sorting based on ascending order and descending order. So we just have to go for, by default it is ascending. If you want to go for descending, we can go for that. So descending is 105 has come first and 98 has come last. This is what we have. Sort. Fine. So sorting can also be done on multiple fields. Okay, so let's quickly add 2 more fields here. I will just, first of all, let me just copy this program and share it with you, and then I will go for multiple sorting based on multiple fields. So let's go ahead with, so let's go ahead with sort option. So what I'm doing here is like I'm adding two more fields so that like I can show you the sorting based on two fields. So first let's sort based on the country and then we'll sort based on the city. So it's like first we'll sort like what exactly is the country. Inside the country we'll sort the states. Now this is right. Instead of Hyderabad, we'll go for New York. This is USA. So this is what we have. So now what we do is like we have this Washington is being coming price because that is not updated. So okay, so whatever. Now here what happens is now let's sort based on in country first. So country in the sense first India has to come and then USA has to come. So inside that let's uh, sort the city based on descending order. So I can go ahead with that. Now what I'll do is I'll go with sort IT and SQL MP by CNTY country. So this is what we have. So here we got this 9899. Okay. So here if you see India has come first, USA has come next, right? So now inside the country, inside India, if you want to sort it based on say ascending order. Okay. No. City. We'll sort it based on city now. So execute, and you got this here. India has come first. Inside the India also, Allahabad, Bangalore, and Hyderabad has come. A has come first. Here also it is sorting. Now let's do something different. Let's go ahead with sort the city based on descending. So country is ascending, but city is descending. Okay. So let's do for that. So what will happen? Country will be ascending only, city will be descending. Country is ascending, city is descending. This is what will happen. Okay, so this is what we have. So sorting can be done uh, on multiple fields as well, and it can be done through ascending and descending. This is what we have. Done. Okay. So this is what I wanted to discuss today. So yeah, from here we'll take it forward in tomorrow's session. You can just go ahead this with this program, and you can just try to understand this, and then yeah, Pratik, I think the backend team will call you for the server access, giving the server access. So